Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to go through section 5.5, and if you notice there's kind of like an add-on to the end of section 5.5, and it's called writing linear equations. This is on page 287, and so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of review some of this. We necessarily haven't had a good background in writing linear equations so much, and so we're going to spend some time going over this today. And so first of all, we need to review slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So that should look familiar. And so if I were to give you an equation, y equals 2x plus 3, the slope in that equation would be what? The slope would be
1x.
The slope would be 2. The y-intercept is 3. So basically the slope is just the number in front of the x. The y-intercept is the other number. Y-intercept means it's where it crosses the y-axis. And so I went ahead and gave you a handout in which you can follow along. And so this is on the handout. So let's go through and graph this. It says graph the linear equation. Y equals 3 minus 2x. Now in order for us to graph it, it might be a little bit better if we flipped the 3 and the negative 2. Now by flipping the 3 and the negative 2, we can now see that the slope is what? Slope is what? Negative 2. And the y-intercept is what? 3. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and plot the y-intercept of 3. So from my origin here at 0, 0, okay, a y-intercept of 3 means you're going to go up to 3 and put a dot. Now what we need to do is we need to now graph a slope of negative 2. A slope of negative 2 means that from this blue dot, you are going to go down 2 and over 1. Down 2 and over 1. Now if that had been a positive 2, you would have went up 2 and over 1. And so the last and final thing that you need to do is just draw a line through those dots, and that is how you've graphed that equation. So once again, we start with the y-intercept, and then we graph the slope. Yes?
Will you always go over 1?
It depends.
If it's a fraction,
If it's a, yeah. If
Oh,
it would be
yeah.
a fraction, like if it would have been 2/3, you would have went up 2 over 3. But since this is a whole number, we always divide it by 1. So that's going to be the first part, is graphing. You've got 3 of those, I believe.
Haven't we done that before?
And so, yes.
Okay.
And so if you notice at the next one, it says find the equation of line AB. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the reverse. We're going to be, instead of giving the equation and then graphing, we're given the graph and now we need to write the equation. So what I need to do here is I need to find my slope and my y-intercept. Those are the two things. Oops, let me try that one again. Okay, so first of all, where is the y-intercept? Where does it intersect the y-axis? Negative 2. Right here is where the y-intercept is. Now what I need to do is find the slope. So the slope, I need to pick another point on the line, which is it right here. And I need to find the rise over the run. And so here what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up how many?
3.
3. And I'm going to go over how many?
4.
4. So my slope is 3/4. So now based on this, I can go ahead and write my equation. My equation will be y equals 3/4 x plus negative 2. Or you could have 3/4 x minus 2. And there you go. Okay, that's going to be the second part. Think you can handle that? The third part. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Now this one says find the equation of the line that passes through the points. So the very first thing we need to do is find the slope between those 2 points. So do we remember how to find the slope? We take the y minus the y. So 3 minus 6. And we're going to divide that by x minus x. So negative 2 minus 4.
Why isn't it 4 minus 2?
Because you started with the 3. So 3 minus 6 is what? Negative 3. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. So my slope is
1/2.
1/2. So far, so good?
Is that all we have to do?
Not yet. What do we need to do next, Aaron?
You need to take one of those, like a.
First, yep, I know. First, what do I need to do?
You need to multiply by the slope.
Y equals 1/2 x plus b. And then now, what Aaron was saying is I need to plug a point in. So you can plug either 4, 6 or negative 2, 3 in. So if I plug 4, 6 in, 4 is what value? X. What is 6? Y. So I'm going to plug in 6 for y and 4 for x. So once again, x is 4, y is 6. So then now what I need to do is solve that for what? B. So 1/2 of 4 is 2. What do you do now? Subtract 2, so you get 4 to equal b. Your equation then is y equals 1/2 x plus 4. So once again, first step, find the slope. Plug it into slope-intercept form, then plug a point in. Okay. Next problem is a doozy. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of the segment with endpoints 2, 9, and negative 4, negative 3. Yeah. So first of all, perpendicular. We're going to do the exact same thing we did in the problem before to start. And what are we going to find?
Slope.
The slope. Yep, rise over run. And then we're going to take into account the perpendicular. So how do I find the slope here? Negative 3 minus 9 divided by negative 4 minus 2. Good. So negative 3 minus 9, which is divided by negative 4 minus 2. So my slope is 2. Now that's of this line, but they wanted the perpendicular bisector. So if it's perpendicular, what is the slope?
0.
Negative 1/2. Remember, if it's perpendicular, it's the opposite reciprocal. So if it was 3/2, it would be negative 2/3. Okay, in this case, 2 negative 1/2. So my equation, y equals negative 1/2 x plus b. Now, there's one other word that I haven't taken into account in this problem, and what is that? I took into account perpendicular. What haven't I taken into account?
Endpoints. Segments.
There's one other key word, bisector. So if it's a perpendicular bisector, that means it goes through what? The center. So what I need to do is find the point that's in the middle of these 2 points. So let me say that again. I need to find the point that's in the middle of those 2 points. So basically I need to find the average. What x value is in between 2 and negative 4? Negative 1. What x or y value is between 9 and negative 3? Close. 3. Now the easy way, you could add them and divide by 2. So 2 plus negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 1. 9 plus negative 3 divided by 2 is 3. So then now these are the points I'm going to sub into my equation. In place of y, I'm going to sub in 3. In place of x, I'm going to sub in negative 1. So here we go. 3 equals 1/2 plus b. What do you do now? Negative 1/2, good. So 3 minus 1/2 is 2 1/2, which is 5 over 2. We need to answer these as impropers, not as mixed numbers. So my final answer will be y equals negative 1/2 x plus 5/2. And there you go. So, that's what you're doing today. You've got a few problems which you need to do. You need to do for me 1 through 11 on pages 289 through 290. You've got a reference sheet you just used. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. And this is due tomorrow.